Hi, and welcome to this brief introduction to the Crystal Waters Project. This is absolutely as much information as we could pack into a short amount of time, and it shouldn't be boring. But if it doesn't answer your specific question, please check out our website or contact us at the email address below. This information is meant to help those who want to do more know more about our organization. This information will help you learn who, what, when, where, and why we are, as well as how we will make a difference, though not necessarily in that order. And this will be our agenda for the presentation. So who is the Crystal Waters Project? Crystal Waters Project started when a passionate community decided to turn hope for our lakes into action. A dedicated group of volunteers has been assembled with a mission to get the word out about the health of Lake Crystal's watershed and what can be done to improve the cornerstone of our community. You should know that by attending one of our events, learning about our organization, or following our Facebook page, that makes you a member. In fact, if you weren't a member before now, even by watching this video, we consider you a member of the Crystal Waters Project. There are no sign-ups, no dues, and anyone who wants to help is a member. The mission of the CWP is to restore a healthy watershed that would improve the water quality of our lakes, to promote good stewardship and better management practices throughout the entire Lake Crystal watershed. The good news is that we don't have mercury, heavy metals, or sewage. We do, however, have nitrogen and phosphorus. These are naturally occurring elements. They have always been and always will be in our lakes. Unfortunately, the levels of these nutrients are way out of balance. The excess nitrogen and phosphorus leads to algae. With the heat and the sun, these algae form massive colonies called algae blooms. These blooms are cyanotoxins, which give off microcysteines and anotoxins. And while it may sound overly scientific, the results are very real. In humans, it can cause liver failure, neurotoxicity, and in pets and even aquatic life, very rapid death. The good news is that these issues are really most prevalent when the blooms are present. The bad news is, even if there aren't blooms present, it still often stinks. Our lakes are like the family dog that every member of the family feeds under the table. If you ask why the family dog is fat, everyone points at each other. One of the most popular places to point is agriculture. And it is definitely important to keep nutrients on the fields and not in the water. But that's not the only problem. Permeable ground has been reduced. Nitrogen and phosphorus will go into the ground and fertilize our gardens and lawns, making them look fabulous. But we don't give it much of a chance. Our homes are larger, with nice big driveways and sidewalks, and the water sheets off of them and our freshly mowed lawns and right into the storm drains. Our population has doubled in Lake Crystal since 1930, which means the already high amounts of nutrients are also doubled. And even if we keep water on our lawns, our short, well-manicured lawns simply don't require as much nitrogen and phosphorus as the types of gardens, woods, and larger plants that were popular in homes prior to the 1950s. And all of that runoff has to go somewhere, so we channel it to flow directly off the fields, homes, and streets directly into the lake. So what does the Crystal Waters Project do, and can anything really be done to make a difference? Rake for the Lake is a popular event. It's one in which we really like to get the whole family involved. It's a lot of work and a lot of fun. Raking for the lake means cleaning up people's yards as a community service, especially for those who are older or who may need extra help. We also do so for anyone who makes a donation. It helps keep the word out about where this material would go if it's not picked up and taken to compost. It ends up as muck, sediment, nitrogen, and phosphorus in our lakes. Have you seen a blue drain in our community? This is a sign of our Adopt a Drain program. A blue drain means that anything that runs into this drain will flow into the lake. A black water drop means that the drain has been adopted. The whole goal is to keep them flowing free of debris, trash, and yard waste to reduce the amount of muck going into the lake. Our floating islands are floating treatment wetlands. CWP recently purchased 2 small FTWs as a pilot project. A good indicator the islands are working is the sizes of the plants at the end of the season. The seedlings in this picture ended up taking over the entire surface of the island and growing in some cases several feet tall. Carp are horrible for lakes. They stir up the bottom, making nitrogen and phosphorus more abundant for algae blooms, and they destroy a lot of the plant life that would take up the nitrogen and phosphorus naturally. This biomass of 97,000 pounds, or the weight of 19 American automobiles, swimming, breathing nitrogen and phosphorus that was removed from our lakes. Much of it was used as fertilizer for agriculture, well, it can actually do some good. Score and Restore Your Shore encourages lake owners to make changes to their lakeshore that will act like wetlands along the shorelines. This will help reduce phosphorus and nitrogen already in our lakes. It also helps restore and beautify our public parks as well. CWP and the Crystal Loon Recreation Group have a joint fundraiser called the Ice Fishing Extravaganza that helps promote our cause even in the middle of winter. It's a ton of fun and always draws big crowds. The Crystal Concert is also a fun event that raises money and includes a Plant the Park event to help restore a local park, reduce runoff, and spread the word about shore restoration. So where do we do what we do? It's not just about lake restoration. I'm sure you've heard the term watershed. A watershed is all of the area where water runs into a particular body of water. There are civil watersheds, and this is our civil watershed according to the state of Minnesota. But for the Crystal and Loon and Mills Lakes, this is the watershed we're concerned with. And notice that right through the middle of town is the creek. This is officially Blue Earth County Ditch 56, an important waterway for draining agricultural tile in city streets. And notice there are no holding ponds nor established wetlands currently along this route. So any and all nutrients that enter the creek will end up in our lakes. So how will things be fixed? Fixing the lake won't be the result of a particular project. A couple of floating islands isn't going to restore the entire ecosystem of the lake. Raking up leaves isn't going to dredge the decades of plant matter that make the lake shallow. And restoring shorelines isn't going to make Ditch 56 nitrogen and phosphorus come out of the creek and out of the lake. We know that a lot of these things seem like little drops in the bucket. But it depends on the size of your drops, and our drops are getting bigger every year. This year we've made a huge impact on the lake, kept algae blooms to a minimum, and removed 97,000 pounds of biomass from the lake. We've reached a point where we can really start going after larger and more meaningful grants that will put us in a position to make an even bigger impact. But the most important part of getting those grants is showing that we have an engaged and active community, willing to put in the work, ensuring the people who give us those grants that we will make their dollars count. So when do we do this? Well, of course we're going to say now, but seriously, there has never been a better time to make an impact on our lakes. Be involved, stay involved. Whether being involved to you means being able to like us on Facebook and responding to our posts, make a generous donation, or volunteer your time and talents, now is the time to be involved. Thanks so much for watching our presentation. Please don't forget to like us on Facebook, send us your questions, and let the world know that you are the latest member of the Crystal Waters Project.